Hello and welcome, Lynx here, and today we are going to sit to a game from Luna Tender, and this is a first game, well, at least published online by said developer. Actually, this is a group of people, isn't it? Yeah, it is a group of people. B.E.C.K.A. or B.E.C.K.A. This got to stand for something, I'm sure. Another entry for Toxic Yuri Vienjam. So we are diving into it. New game. Ren. That kind of alarm would definitely not wake me up, by the way. Yeah, I would continue to z as well. This is like a wristwatch kind of alarm. That would really not work on me. That's right. You come to in the pitch black of your bedroom. Save the warm glow of your frigid alarms display attached to your wristwatch. I was correct! How did you manage to wake up with that? You can feel your left hand below the wrist. Huh? But for some reason this seems normal to you. You need to, like, loosen up that wristwatch, I guess. Not again. You rise from the bed and silence the pitiful alarm on your wrist with your good hand. Oh, so it's not the watch? Before stumbling over to the bathroom in the dark. I also wear a watch on my left. Which is technically not my good one, supposedly. I guess. On the other hand, I use left hand for, like, opening water bottles, opening jars. To be fair, holding cups as well, or bottles. I don't know why. Anyhow, but writing, right hand. Anyway, the mirror on the front. Oh, I like backgrounds like that, like sort of pixelated, basically. The mirror on the front of your medicine cabinet betrays only the meager blip of light from your wrist. The only proof of your existence at this moment in time. Monday! A click. Amber-esque candlelight illuminates you and your surroundings in the mirror as the motion sensor installed flips on the bathroom lights automatically. That's just being lazy. If you have something like that. Thank you, past me, for looking out for future me. You smugly creak open the cabinet door, only to be met by an instance of past you, not looking out for the future you. Rows upon rows of identical pill bottles. Oof. So identical they're even labeled the same, save for a small number in the corner. Why do I keep putting off taking this back? Whatever. What number were we on again? You're racking your brain for the answer to a question you can hardly remember in your normal state of wakefulness, let alone this storage stupor you find yourself in. Still, you should act fast. Anti-rejection medication is no joke. A what? Grab the bottle with the lowest number. Grab the bottle with the highest number. Or grab the closest bottle. Does it matter? Too bad that there is no option to, like, close the door of the cabinet. I would totally do that. Let's go lowest, because I don't know what exactly they mean. You search the labels and find the bottle with the lowest number, plucking it from the shelves and twisting the lid off without too much difficulty.
bottoms up.
You pop a couple of pills directly into your mouth and return the bottle before ducking your head down to the sink. You turn the tap and start slunking down filtered tap water from directly underneath the faucet. Alright, I mean technically you could supposedly do that in Poland as well. Supposedly, well, at least in my town, we have water that is totally fine to drink directly from the faucet. You don't need to filter it or anything, apparently. I do filter it, though, to be honest. Anyway, anything to avoid that awful mint flavor they incorporated to mask the chemical aftertaste. The feeling begins to return to your left hand. Oh, but it feels quite different than your right. What does it even mean? The normal feeling of blood rushing to your fingertips as your limb wakes from being slapped on the wrong way isn't present.
Alright. Anti-rejection medication. Cybernetic hands.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Whatever will I do with myself?
The alarm on your wristwatch has finished snoozing and is loudly informing you to attend your place of employment.
Yeah, I get it, I'm awake.
You silence your alarm again, this time with a dismissal instead of a snooze. It seems like there is no time for breakfast, or even much of anything this morning. Capitalism marches on despite the contents of your stomach, or lack thereof, nor does it care for your ungroomed appearance, which you catch in the mirror as you turn to leave. Girl, you look good. You keep your hair as you slept in it, tied up in the back and swept to the side for the rest. No time or need really for putting on your face either. What? It's not as if you're in a public-facing part of the company. What do you mean putting face on? You research medicine in your assigned office and that's about it. That's all that springs to mind at least.
Well, time to get going for real.
You leave for work and make sure to look up behind you. You arrive at work and slink past the endless, sterile, samey doors into your office.
Early as usual, but only barely. Better get clocked in and locked in.
You wake your work computer from sleep and initiate the synchronization sequence on it. It beeps a few times and your watch responds in kind.
It was just a weekend. Why are you two always so happy to see each other?
You half jest, but you recognize the beep codes are something akin to a morning greeting. Information probably picked up in a passion-fueled content consumption session at some ungodly hour when you should have been sleeping in instead.
Good morning to you too, Rin. Just from the wrist is fine, thank you. Affirmative, command processed. You don't have to greet me like that, though. I've seen your core code. I know you're just doing it for my sake. Social niceties and idle chatter foster connection and encourage productivity.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Oh no. You've been... This command has definitely been inserted by people that love working inside of offices. What you said is bullshit. And we all know that. Productivity, my ass.
If you make it sound so dystopian, I'm going to disable it for real.
Do it.
Recalibrating. My apologies, Ren. What are we working on today?
You stop for a moment, caught off guard. You didn't realize the code making up your personal assistant had the potential of self-improvement through rewriting. Itself must just be a trick of the model.
Hey, wait a second. You can recalibrate now? What's that about? When did this happen? The praise was determined to best describe the process by which my responses are tailored to your desires.
Just hallucinatory. Incorrect definitions of proper words and phrases, the usual.
Ah, well. Try not to lie or make things up. That could end up badly in the future, okay? Affirmative, command processed. Thank you. So, what are the tasks for today? Broken down into sections, please. Ongoing corporate tasks included reformulation of CNI 5 to boost effective duration to at least 12 hours. Reformulation of CNI 8 to reduce side effects. Reformulation of CNI 8 to reduce risk of death.
Yeah?
And ongoing corporate tasks. Should I continue? Reducing risks and improving effectiveness is great and all, but I swear sometimes that corporate just thinks they can have their cake and eat it too.
Of course they do think that.
How am I supposed to do all of those things for CNI 8 at the same time?
You see your screens on both devices light up simultaneously and clear your throat before your chatbot can respond.
Sorry, that was rhetorical. I don't need a response to that. Continue please with the list. Ongoing personal tasks include scheduling of keratin grooming appointments.
Just then you hear a knock at the door.
Pausing list as previously instructed. Ah, thank you. 1 moment please. Just a moment, let me unlock the door to get you in.
You shout not too loudly, and whoever decided to pay you a visit today and this early. Maybe one of the bosses has finally decided to increase your pay based on your stellar performance. Oh. I wouldn't be counting on that. Yes. Every year you can expect an increase in your payment. Oh, no, that's not what we meant. No, it's more like, yes, every year you can increase the payment. Right? And then you find out, no, I didn't mean you. We mean, I meant us at the top. We are getting the increase, of course. The others, no. Haha, what are you talking about? I never said it was about you. That wouldn't explain the giggling. Regardless, you unlock the door and open it up.
Apologies for the delay. I was just starting my keratin grooming appointments, eh? What kind of nerd used the phrase for a mani-pedi in her calendar? If I'm not the freaky.
She laughs a laugh only a long-time friend could get away with.
Sable, the least you could do after I vouch for your professionalism in the interview is not make fun of me at work now too. Besides, it's not a mani-pedi, it's a pedicure and a haircut, 2 separate appointments, I would say, to preempt your inevitable follow-up snickering.
Your best friend seems to have landed the job. You thought she might have not, but it seems you're vouching for her with the hiring stuff probably did a world of good for her. But also you managed to sound professional and stand despite how well a lab coat suits her. I mean, it suits you super well too. Like, way too well. When does she look so good in that? Oi, girl, look in the mirror yourself, come on. Moving on, in this train of thought of yours. She got the job. It's not nepotism if you're not the one calling the shots, right?
Oh my gosh, that makes it so much funnier. Let me guess, you have a limited number of slots that think and remember, so that was the easiest way to condense them. Oh, actually, do I get one of those? That'd be slick.
She has invited herself into your office and has run over to look at your computer screen. You take the opportunity to sit down on the sofa away from your computer and look over to make sure she's not getting herself in any further trouble. Honestly, she's just intrigued with the setup.
Looks great from behind too. Oh really?
Shit. You did not mean to say that out loud. Surely she would light-heartedly spin it into some joke about workplace treatment training.
Care, there are just cables back here. Am I looking in the wrong spot?
You just say it was sarcasm, come on. She stares back at you with a confused look on her face, one eyebrow and one side of her hips raised. She doesn't realize you were talking about the way the lab coat falls against her shape. Just say it was a sarcasm. Nor does she realize that you are seeing how she styled her hair for work in a way you've not yet seen, and you're getting a full 360-degree view on
snakes.
She likes snakes. The cables look like snakes. You're saved. No, they don't look like snakes. Snakes are disgusting. And cables are not. Come on.
Vera, don't they just remind you of those little reptiles you love so much?
We cannot be friends if you like those. You try to salvage the situation, but her look does not bemoan amusement.
Girl, very motionless, like tiny snouts for popping.
Ugh.
And not one has the potential to kill with a single venomous bite.
What is wrong with you? She enunciates the last syllable more loudly after slowing down the latter part of her sentence, complete with a 180 heel spin into a mostly blind grubby hands reach for the biggest cable timed alongside it. However, she jumps back in tandem with a loud buzz from your computer that sounds like it came straight out of a children's game.
Warning! It is inadvised to touch the cables without proper certification or training. You risk high voltage and current which has the potential to kill you with a single electrical shock. Oh, would you look at that? Your old computer system might know better than I first thought.
She looks at you, head cocked, and grins a devious little grin that can only mean she's up to no good.
If you wish to touch the cables, please present proper certification, training, or suitable alternative. How do I do that? Do they keep some kind of record on me and the assistant gets checked whenever I do something at work?
She turns to ask you this, rather than asking the computer directly. It's always interesting seeing how new people interface with... More like interact with technologies familiar to you.
Oh wait, even better. Is everything about me recorded in my file and open for all? Like some techno-geek could just ask for a list of all my most sensitive information or kinks at a moment's notice and use it to blackmail me like some kind of dystopian novella or A03 fanfiction?
You interrupt before the lighting up of the screen behind her can progress to whatever weird answer she'd get.
That's not how it works.
You lift up your fingers, close your eyes in a matter of fact way as you count the answers to all her questions.
1. You submit any legal documents to HR for review.
I hate HR.
2. Yes, they keep a record on you. 3. It gets hashed and stored in a proficiencies table that gets cross-checked on every interaction for speed and safety. 4.
How do you remember all the questions? That's my question.
Problems with scope in the model haven't been present in many years. That's a long-sold issue.
You open your eyes and notice she's much closer to you now.
Scope!
Close enough to tell you she looks very confused. Understandably confused, for while neither of you were hard for computer science, you're the only one who has tinkered with code between the two of you. Wow. Does having programming in schools count as tinkering with code as well? Not like I was any good at it. I was atrocious.
Yeah. Yes, scope. As in within the scope of what the computer knows. As in just because it knows everything doesn't mean it can necessarily divulge the information. As in a human boss wouldn't tell you the financials of the company or details about her wife or something.
I mean, if the boss is drunk enough on a corporate, like, outing or something. Also, you say that, but then you, like, you know, somehow find out how the higher-ups are like, alright, we are going to fire 20 people this month. And on the same of, or like right after the firing, they're like, alright, let's organize ourselves a dinner for us higher ups. We saved, I don't know, like let's say 80,000 this month because those people don't work with us anymore, so we might as well use that money. And somehow information like that, you know, somehow is known by everyone anyway, so I would say they are very willing to say something like that. Is it a real life experience? Perhaps. Anyway, after several increasingly confused expressions, she has her light bulb moment and then makes a motion with her hand while clicking her tongue at you.
Finally something I can understand. Regardless, they told me to drop by your office. Something about the good first impression being key to long-term employment.
She sits down next to you and pulls out her notebook and reads verbatim from what appears to be a reminder she's written to herself.
For your first day, visit Ren and do what she deems important and enriching.
Okay. Do you not have a dedicated trainer? Do you know how long they want me to enrich you your first day? This turning out to be a pretty great day. For you'd not get paid enough for the kind of random tasks they assign you. Yeah. That's what you get for accepting an employment contract that included an item in the duties section prescribed as and any other tasks deemed appropriate. Yeah, this is such a bullshit, by the way, addition to the contract.
I do have a trainer. They told me to find them after lunch. I wrote down their office number if it matters.
No, it's okay. I can show to their office after lunch. Until then, let's figure out what would be enriching and enjoyable. It is at this moment you realize you know exactly zero about the role she was hired for. Guess she'll know more about it for just have to praise it professionally. Okay, Miss Sable. What is the exact title of the role you were hired for? Nailed it. After a good long stalling for time Sibyl's face lights up with the exact same look you've only ever seen her make one time prior. When you procured from behind your back a bag of fries merely 3 seconds after she whined about starving at a sleepover when you were only 16.
Computer! What is my role title?
Seriously? Don't party like a man. Be genuinely nice and inquisitive. Also say please and thank you. As the screen lights up and audible sounds neither yours nor her own fills the room, her pouty harmonies morphs into a smug grin. Great, just what she needs. More ego. Role of Sable currently defined as intern. You see her smug grin drop for a split second before coming back in a full force. Wait, she might not get paid because of that. Role of Sable to be changed upon completion of internship to social media manager. Oof. Well, that seems like her. Always in the know. She does send you good memes. Oh my god. You say that, but honestly, people who are hired by companies and try to meme, you guys are so bad. Jesus. Like, companies should not try to meme. They are so bad at that. It's crazy. I think I haven't seen a single company that would meme correctly. I guess Wendy's maybe was good at that, but we don't have that in Poland, so like I don't care necessarily. But other than that, so bad. It's like I don't know, some kind of, let's say basically it's like a boomer trying to send you something funny. Or it's as if your dad started telling jokes. That's how funny it is. Anyway, hopefully Sable can manage good for.
You're shaking everything, okay?
She's right. Your left arm is shaking. Wait. Okay. It's shaking quite a bit. You will stop, but it won't. Did I pick the wrong freaking... That's a problem. Mostly better. Just in time for more computerized babble as Sable looks on a little worriedly. Details of duties specific disability exclusion to our role include inter-team collation, event management, payment.
Huh? What does that mean? Does it mean I have to do those things? I know how to do accounting. No, those are standard for being an intern but are absent from your specific situation. That last part was also illegal. I'll fix it and make sure you get paid. Don't worry.
Oh, wait. So she wouldn't be paid. I mean, technically internships don't need to be paid as far as I'm concerned. I do remember my internship when I was still at uni and had to do an internship was not paid at all. Now you got me curious if that may be changed. Oh, yeah, that's the thing, yeah. Yeah. A student internship can be unpaid. That's right. It's funny how, you know, when I had that internship, I also was told, oh, you're doing a great job. You should totally leave your documents in our company and so on. That didn't help at all. You tap your watch and talk, much more gently than Sable barking orders across the room into it.
What does normal intern do nowadays, and what else is she expected to learn before her promotion out of the internship status? In a list, if you would be so kind.
You see Sable look on in amazement as the voice comes out of just your watch instead of the aglo computer screen across the room.
Appending to the list. Rationalizing command. Continuing list from previous location to reach current query response. Ongoing personal tasks include.
Before you can realize the mistake that was made, your assistant starts a list of things present company should probably not be privy to.
Ask what her favor. Skip. Next section.
You can feel your face turning red. You forgot that was in there.
New corporate tasks include reformulation of CNI to details of duties specific to.
You interrupt your electronic assistant.
Wait, back up. Why are we reformulating that one? Or rather, what exactly was wrong with it? I thought trials went well and was set to be released.
Sable looks just as confused as you do when you, for some reason, turn to look for confirmation from her. She gives you a half-surprised shrug in response while adorned with a slightly more surprised look across her face. Reformulation of CNI2 is required due to intolerance in wider trials despite in-house case study tolerance. Projections estimate You're not paying attention anymore. Done. That was the one that was working great for both you and Rebecca.
Darn.
Okay. You can move that one to ongoing, please, and thank you. Also make a local copy of the current state of my drive, please.
Warning! This is a very large amount of data. Rationalization functionality will be severely impacted until task is complete. Are you sure you wish to continue? In that case, when we step out for lunch or whatever, you're free to continue at that point, and I'm sure yes. But for now, please continue with the details of Sable's role.
You look towards the pretty lady in lab coat sitting next to you.
Now this will be what you actually have to do. Affirmative. Command processed. Local copy to be made upon exit of room by both friend and Sable. Details of duty specific to Sable in accordance with normal role include facility familiarization.
Makes sense.
Meeting attendance.
That sucks.
Workshop attendance.
Okay.
History study.
Oof.
Details of duty specific to Sable in addition to normal role include culture absorption.
Oof.
Brand assessment.
Makes sense.
Image creation.
Makes sense.
Propaganda dissemination.
You look over to her once again and see that she still has no clue what's being asked for her.
Once more, as a short explanation in a more digestible terms, emphasis on the informality of it all, please. She will need a tour of the facility at some point to make sure she knows where everything is. She will also need to attend meetings and workshops as they pop up. There are no meetings or workshops scheduled for today.
No meetings, really. I would expect there to be a lot for the first day.
How people perceive the company in the past and present will be a main focus of her work, as it will influence how she creates promotional material to hype up the good that this company is doing in the world.
They probably do nothing good. Maybe. Okay. They seem to be making some kind of medicine. So maybe that's a good thing. We'll see. The peripheral vision you have of her when looking down at your watch provides enough comprehension to know that she also comprehends.
Well, that's so much easier to understand.
She looks quite a bit relieved.
I might be in over my head with the fancy techno-geek speak that Renews being used by the computer too.
She laughs a laugh born of relief but quickly turns to fiddle with something in her purse that starts beeping.
Anything that list of duties strike your fancy? Well, thankfully I know where the lunchroom is already. Stumbled across it when I got lost trying to find your office.
She continues fiddling around her purse and the beeping stops.
So for us, a tour being a splendid first stop, I actually have to go, as in right now. Must have forgot to close the door on Susie's enclosure all the way. I'll be back in a couple hours for sorry.
Susie? Right, she doesn't have the luxury of living as close as you do. Having pets must be such a pain. No, it's not. They are cute for. Yes, they are. But with how much work they seem, you think yourself content to just be a cool aunt kind of pet owner, present mostly for the fun stuff. But she gets snakes for, so that's not fun at all. Come on.
That's okay, just reach out if you need anything. Careful out there. See you soon.
She gets up and waves goodbye before heading to the door. In what appears to you as a single motion, she opens the door, twirls outside and performs some kind of courtesy, smiling all the while. The door eventually separates the both of you, albeit slowly. You thank yourself for spending those 20-some-odd minutes watching a video about pneumatic door closers, specifically the takeaway. Learning they can be adjusted to close more slowly, however long ago. As if that investment hadn't really paid dividends.
Well, alright then. Which of the ongoing tasks has the most priority? Assume it's the new one, yeah? The ongoing task marked with the most urgency is reformulation of CNI to...
Figures.
Okay, what aspect are we starting on?
You put your knowledge of biochemistry to work, reformulating the medication your company produces in line with their goals.
And set! That's enough biochem today. Hopefully these variations get approved for testing shortly.
In the past they've usually been quick with approval, but the multiple trials needed after the fact is a different story.
Approval complete!
Gee, that was instant. Which means it did not get reviewed by anyone else at all this time. It's happened a few times. Usually when we're in a massive hurry, it must be of the utmost importance.
It's a bit too flattering for them to blindly accept what I submit as valid for further trials.
You would look at the time to see where you're at for the day. But your stomach has been incessantly begging you for breakfast. Second breakfast, brunch, and what feels like lunch now too.
I do the job out of necessity, but it's turned out to be pretty rewarding, huh?
We strive to provide an enriching employment experience that all employees will feel proud of.
Just remember for a raise when the time comes. Besides, you know what's even more rewarding?
Recent conversation implies additional reward would involve additional
lunchtime.
The suggestion sounded like overtime hours. No way! Don't fall for that, guys. Don't do overtime. Never. It's not worth it. Absolutely not worth it. I did some overtime when I was doing retail. Not worth it. Eventually, I would also always be like, you know, yeah, overtime, ha ha ha. Yeah, I will know tomorrow if I can or not. Sorry, I can't. And insert some believable lie about that. Even though you don't really need to explain why you can't do overtime, let's face it, but I would always say something, you know, something believable. Anywho, for your own sanity, you can at least pretend to have adopted a healthy work-life balance. Yeah. That's why you don't take overtime. Previous instructions indicate I'm required to consult your decision matrix with regards to nutrition.
In human speak we say, what are you having for lunch today?
What are you having for lunch today?
Thank you for asking,
Oh, beans. Not actually beans, for in your morning scramble you forgot to grab your lunch.
Whatever they're serving in the break room, I guess.
Will your consumption of what you are having for lunch today again occur in parallel with visitation of patient Rebecca? She's a patient here, but not by choice, depending on one's view of the world. She committed herself to the company's care after the standardized health system couldn't determine what was wrong with her. So she's suffering from some kind of unique organ rejection disease. Oof. Suffering you've managed to slightly ease with your work and your presence, you hope. Suffering you've managed to slightly ease with your work and your presence, you hope. Why is this? Whatever. You've eaten most of your lunches with Rebecca these days. Still, it's suffering you've not managed to cure.
Dodging the question for a moment, is it possible for my new formulation to be processed and dispensed to her room today?
The sooner the better. You hope it helps her even a little. There's a bit of a silence while you process your thoughts. Your assistant seems to be processing your request. The duration of the silence makes you a bit uncomfortable. Will your lunch be spent with Rebecca? Yeah, of course I always eat lunch with her, but I actually promised Sable I would eat lunch. Fuck. But is Sable back? She might not be back yet, right? I'm gonna go with Rebecca. Anyway.
Of course, I always eat lunch with her.
You deem giving the sick and dying girl the treatment you got in high school to be an action far too cruel. For you'll definitely need to let Sable know and make it up to her later, as a short message should do fine.
Also, about the medication, I'm just hoping that I can be there with her for that, you know. Make sure she's okay. Please message Sable to let her know I'll have to cancel on today's lunch plans with her, in my usual tone and such.
The creation, processing, logging, and dispensal for medication. CNI2 version 22 revision 4 will require approximately 417 additional seconds. Standard travel velocity of REN suggests the best course of action as follows. Bipedal traversal of the facility at normal speeds towards the destination of break room. Acquisition of whatever we are serving the break room. Bipedal traversal of the facility at normal speeds towards the destination of break room pharmacy. Acqui?
Okay, I get it. Break room first, grab the meds after, and finally to Rebecca, thank you.
That is correct. Additionally, the message requested has been sent. You may be on your way. As if you needed a reason to take a break and fill your grumbling stomach. You quickly type through the necessary lunch procedures on your watch and head out the door. However, you quickly double back and open your office door again. You realize you forgot to ask for the dispensal passphrase. It seems you won't be getting it now. Your assistant is unresponsive. Its desktop display indicates the main version is logged in data copying mode. What you ask of it at the start of your shift. The mobile version of the assistant on your watch goes into a lower performance but locally hosted mode in these circumstances, so you try asking it.
Hey, what's the fast phrase for the reformulated medicine pickup? Did that info got saved here too?
No, passphrase known. Drat. For Beverly's medication to you before in the same situation you're in now, hopefully the pharmacist on staff today is one you have some camaraderie with. You head back out for real this time, utilizing your bipedal traversal towards the break room. You arrive at the break room and let yourself in. You read 2 steps from opening the company fridge to see what today's rations are before you feel the telltale buzz of a new message and quickly open it. It's a message from Sable in response to the message your assistant sent her and is as follows.
That's okay. Looking for Susie. Can't find her. We can have lunch together another time. Tell the stuff for me. I wonder if she's checked the heating ducts yet.
You fire off the suggestion in a reply and release 4 of the refrigerated air that coats your soon-to-be salvation with a swing of the fridge doors. Ah, beans. What are we in England? Actually, beans for a shelf full of identically sized bowls filled to the brim with beans that look just a little bit too soupy to be appetizing. To be fair, I haven't had beans in a while.
Whatever they're serving in the break room just had to be beans today.
Each bowl is affixed with a note reminiscent of that one trope you've seen in anime, capital letter, and long deeply for in reality. The one where one girl, despite having to leave her girlfriend's side early for work before she even awakens, bakes fresh pancakes, portions out syrup in a container on the side, wraps them gently and tops them with a cute handwritten note aplomb with heart emojis. I don't know which anime this is. Except these notes are cardstock cut to have sharp 90-degree corners, written with serifed letters and like heart emojis. All except one actually, a singular, less watery ball that looks to have an actual handwritten note. It's nestled near the back of the fridge, much higher up on the shelf, separate from one supporting the sea of soupy bean bowls. Would you like to take the bowl? Now, do you mean that specific bowl or bowls in general? I feel like this is a question about that neatly written one. What if this is a bowl that is not from a ration, but by, someone just put it in there? Someone just likes beans in general. Fine, take it, whatever. You liberate the bowl from the high shelf. The slightly wrinkled note that rests on top is penned in a shaky hand. With big loopy letters it reads,
Dearest Ren, I've asked this stuff to place this note alongside today's lunch in a place you would see it. I hope it finds you well and I hope to see you soon. Rebecca! Ah, my poor, technically lesbian heart. I'll devour every last ounce of plant protein these beans provide me.
Before anyone else walks in and notices you pledging your fealty to a curved piece of stoneware, you close the fridge door and see yourself out towards the pharmacy. Beans held safe against your breast. You approach the pharmacy and are thrilled with the staffing situation. The country is staffed by one of the newbie pharmacists who admires you. You draw her out of focus in your mind just enough to minimize the small talk. The means are justified by the end, and a longer lunch break with Rebecca.
Hi, pick up for Ren on behalf of Rebecca. Yeah, good to see you again too. Well, you see, I accidentally locked it before I could. Oh, I know about the best of us. I've got to learn a lot to learn still, I'm sure. Thank you. Sure you don't need me to show you any kind of ID? The what? The beans gave me away? Seriously, hopeless. Maybe not hopeless for long, for if the fruits of my labor here do what I want them to do. See ya!
It's no passphrase and have wasted almost none of your lunchtime break. You head directly to Rebecca. You can't wait to thank her for the note and scarf down some beans in her company. You reach the portal to Rebecca's room. Portal? The only door in the whole building that isn't a corporate carbon copy of the rest. It's a refreshing pop of all sorts of color. Cuboid papercraft animals, some with googly eyes that span the whole kingdom, a ref made up of at least 7 different shades of purple and orange, and various scribbled sketches of all sorts, mostly animals again. Here is spirit animals, cause they're all free to do as they want, just like me. You're having trouble mustering up the courage to knock and announce yourself. Until you spot the scraggly crayon remaining of the lion she'd bestowed the name Tiger Face to in a dream before, off slightly to the top left corner. Lion called Tiger Face. Interesting. Their courage vigorously raises your beanless hands to knock, but just the faintest giggle from within.
Rain, are you lurking outside the portal to a better place again? Or have you turned into a vampire since I saw you last? Painfully impotent without the recognition into my humble abode? Because if so, you only need remember that you're welcome in December. And also welcome every day of every other month as well, come rain or shine or any other hell.
She says the first part with the sing-song cadence of an angel, smiling and holding back a laugh simultaneously, then swaps to what could pass as a direct-to-consumer pharmaceutical advertisements listing of their products' side effects.
I'm entering the portal then, and I should say I've got a surprise for you.
You carefully open the study door and enter her room.
Oh, great Miss Orin! I deem fine entrance to my realm acceptable, and decree fine gifts we surrendered upon entrance. In recompense, for shalt receive my most humblest of blessings.
Oh, cutie pie. She finishes proclaiming her decree and blesses you with one of the biggest overjoyed smiles you've seen from her yet. Your reason to keep going.
Are those beans?
She's much more excited to see the bottom half of a bowl of beans than is probably healthy. You sit down at her bedside, lest she start jumping on the bed like a monkey in anticipation.
Beans!
She starts bobbing in place to excitement. Much better than jumping on the bed, which could lead to falling off and hurting her head.
What's got you so excited about beans anyways?
She plucks the note out from being wedged between your palm and the side of the bowl. Her note then reads aloud to you after unnecessarily clearing her throat.
Ahem. Dearest Ren, I requested this note to make its way directly to you along with the tastiest lunch available. Since it's Monday, you surely have forgotten your lunch at home.
Yeah.
Thus it is my to ensure you stay healthy for the both of us. I hope the lunch is delicious and I cannot wait to eat it with you later today. Lots of love, Rebecca! I think you might have taken some liberties with regards to the writing of that note, you little sneak. Oh, true. I never actually wrote the word Monday on this. Oh yeah, is that the only different part? I seem to remember it just a little differently. Just a little.
She looks at you with big, watery, concerned, dewy eyes.
No, it was definitely a lot more. Besides, if it says that now, it must be a magical note capable of bringing together true love. But what about the beans?
She's trying to hide her flushed expression behind the silly question and you let her off lightly and play along.
The beans? Oh no, what about the beans? They're magical fruit, you know. They're legumes, you know. Yep, most of those in the bowl are the legumes fruit because they're green. But those other ones there, those are probably legumes. Huh? Okay, smarty pants, try this one on for a size.
You pull out the newly dispensed medication you just reformulated today. The one you've both been taking, the previously thought finalized version of every day.
How many sequences do you think I edited from those green beans specifically into this medicine? You told me this before. It's just one. The littlest one. The other beans have a little more. The flower even more. The animals beat the flowers. And the lion has the most. Bzzz. Wrong. Guess again.
She eyes you with a puzzled expression, but knows you wouldn't lie to her.
I was wrong. That's the answer to a different question. How many sequences did I edit from those green beans specifically into this medicine?
You chose You choose your wording carefully, and she looks to further examine the medication through the semi-translucent container, paying no attention to its label.
Oh, it's zero. Those green beans specifically, they never went into anything more than a cookpot. For so they Bzzz, wrong again. Want a hint?
Rebecca scrunched her face in thought, now quickly darting her attention between the beans in your bowl, the medication in your hand, and the expression on your face. It does not appear she wants a hint.
No hint.
After a few moments, you fear your ever-growing smile might have betrayed the solution to her.
You did!
In disbelief, she snatches the bottle from your hand to get a better look at the small version revision number pair in the corner of the label, and then at the date it was dispensed on its bottom.
Today! The number went up, but I thought it was done! I thought I was going to get any better!
You're not sure if she's about to scream, cry, or something else entirely.
Hey now, temporary expectations. There's only 1 day of work so far and...
She interjects to offer a correction.
And like 100 days of research at least. Those are days of work too. Yeah, I do a lot of research, but that doesn't mean it's always perfect. Remember how long it took before? But it was 2 sequences this time. It's still the lowest by both count and total capacity. It's so cute! The green bean just needed a little helping hand. Well, others were quick too. A few different flowers. I tweaked the pine cone the most. Oh yeah, there is a snake now too. That is to say, if this doesn't work, we have a few other possibilities we can try that I've theorized by leverage.
Your technical explanation isn't needed in this moment of joy. You drop the matter and just give her a tired smile.
You're the best! You're the best! You're the best! You're the best! You're the best!
She returns your tired smile with the biggest hug. A feeble hug by any other metric, but a great big one for her. And a soft-spoken commitment, committed to a promise.
When I get better, I'm gonna marry you, Ren.
Whoa. All of the emotional intelligence she possesses from loving you for so long condenses to a ray of sunshine that illuminates the shadowy burgeoning.
Are you sure?
Creeping out from the back of your mind before you even speak it aloud.
Yep. Okay, let's get your medication sorted then. It's going to be a little different. No, same exact dose, same exact time, same exact everything, except the formulation. So with my lunch, like right now. Yeah, 2 pills with lunch every day. But let's start with 1 just in case. If it's not great, we can try another formulation after I push it through, which would take maybe half an hour to an hour. But if it's good, we can just do the second before I go after we spend some time together. Oh, that's right, I have a snake to add to my spirit animals. I wonder what I should call him. What about Susie? Or what about Rocco? The snake was not that big, powerful, or dystopian. He's at least venomous. How about toxic? Does it have a huge fangs?
She motions with her hands round her neck, closing her eyes with her tongue stuck out, and shifts into spreading her arms wide to exaggerate how huge she thinks fangs on a living creature could become.
No, and no. It's a little one. Can even grow bigger than you. Only one its family too. It's got shiny scales for.
Her arms fall to her side and then up to her face in a thinking motion.
Oh, I can look at that. I've got some purple glitter. Let's eat first. I'm absolutely starving. Becca's ready for her beans. Bring on the beans. Our beans. You gotta share these beans with me. They're magic after all.
You twist off the new medication slit after only minor difficulty and set 2 capsules next to the bowl of beans.
Oh, Ren, the water is slow. Can you get us a refill?
You look over to the jug atop her water cooler in the corner and also to her favorite mug on the bedside table. Both dangerously close to empty.
Of course. Hand me your mug a moment.
She hands you the mug, which you fill with what little remains in the cooler before handing it to her.
Thank you so much. so I'll be handling the task all by myself. Sure you will. These things are heavy now, even for people who are in the better condition than us. Full ones, anyways.
Yeah, you pop the jug of the cooler and begin to leave to get a replacement. You scooch in closer to Rebecca's side and she spoon feeds you a large spoonful of beans. She grins in content.
Best beans I've ever tasted.
You say it with full mouth. Oof. Unbothered by how silly you might look or sound. You swallow the beans and lecture her for your peace of mind.
Remember, one pill only for now. No citrus, eat your beans, drink your water. Yup.
You pick up the additional empty jug next to the door and exit the portal. Honestly, in this case, I would only leave one pill in front of her. Just in case, I would only leave one instead of leaving more. Through the portal, you find yourself back in the land of corporate wage slavery, your jugs in hand. One longer than you'd like trip later and you've refilled the containers at the appropriate water refill station. A second, even longer trip back with your full, heavy jugs and you reach the portal once again. You place down your load in preparation to knock at the door, simultaneously calling out to the sunbeam.
Honey, I'm home. Is it still December or have the terms been retracted?
You're looking for signs of a glitter purple snake is interrupted by a pained, croaking voice.
It's still December.
Thinking she's in pain, you rush in Rebecca's side. One pill remains beside the bowl of barely eaten beans and a half-full mug of water.
Is it supposed to hurt?
She winces at you in a very obvious pain. You scan her immediate surroundings and then herself giving her one star and twice over.
No, it's not supposed to hurt, not at all. Did you take one of the pills already? One of the pills? It hurts a lot, Ren. Scale of 1 to 10. High.
Another wins. The fact that she's not hiding her pain must mean it hurts a lot. Higher than when you didn't come in for 2 weekends and a week it's sandwiched. She rated her loneliness as more painful than anything ever. You haven't taken vacation since.
Okay, I'm going to pull a different version from the ones I was working on instead then. One that gets rid of your pain too, okay? Oh, I'll miss you.
You take the extra pill and scoop it into the trash before dashing through the hallways to your office. You arrive back in your office in record time. The desktop monitor displays a 96 data copy completion percentage flatly on the screen.
Still? Why taking so long? I've got a pain urgency to fix.
It provides you no response as expected. However, your watch pipes up in distinct, smaller voice.
Requested data copy remains incomplete. How may I be of assistance, Red?
You wait a moment, desiring the wider expertise and greater processing power or the full model. However, with time ticking, you stamp at your watch.
How much longer?
Current estimates place completion status at 1 hour and 33 minutes.
What? That is way too long to wait. You don't have the passphrase for medication pickup when I read it. I'm assuming you also like the reformation matrix I was working on with all of the values.
Negative. That information was indeed copied to my local system before data copy initiation. If that part already happened, you wonder if your personal drive finally kicked the bucket.
Then help me out. Rebecca is in pain from taking the meds. Just one pill with food and water. She's more pain than ever. How do I fix it? Because I'm having trouble thinking right now.
You are experiencing a panic attack.
Not helpful. How do I fix her? I was thinking one of my other formulations with more sedative aspects, right?
In line with that hypothesis, the most likely candidate would be the specific reformation that excludes xenopeltidae genomic sequencing in favor of Protobotrops elegans. Oof. You recognize that as one of the snakes you were researching but can't remember the specifics in your hurried state. Your reasoning is undated in the reformulation matrix as to best inform the decisions of your assistant for moments like these, so you trust it to make the right decision anyways.
Okay, sounds good. I'm a little more calm now. Anything else you suggest?
I would suggest partial inclusion of solar analysis here. You had your ups before, but this confirms it. This local model is absolutely useless.
I'm not putting deadly nightshade inside of medicine.
Despite the fact that Bella don't...
No, not despite. It's a Bella freaking Donna. I'm not trying to kill her.
The sequencing of tropanyl-alkaloids
would provide the anticholinergic properties of sedation, leading to relief of her pain. You're so right.
You look to your desktop display for confirmation of your assessment, but notice it's still stuck at the same spot. They can be sequenced from tomatoes if that is preferable.
I haven't isolated any sequences from tomatoes yet. Just reformulate the medicine with the snake change and the inclusion of this too.
Affirmative. Please provide specific sequence data to include in reformulation in reference to this too.
Use what's already in the reformulation matrix under Solon-Sasia for tropanyl-alkaloids.
Affirmative.
Can I have the dispense as soon as possible?
The creation, processing, logging, dispensal for publication. CNI 2, version 22, revision 5. Will require approximately 32 additional seconds. Standard travel velocity of friends suggests the... You force a reboot for later by pulling out your drive from the computer, still stuck at 96%. Authentication error, locally hosted version of chat is disabled. You stash the likely broken drive in your pocket to be fixed at a later time and rush off to the pharmacy. You again approach the pharmacy but notice the counter no longer staffed by the newbie pharmacist. Ooh. In her place is the automatic system that dispenses reserved medication in lieu of human interaction, no questions asked. You quickly punch through a series of prompts and retrieve the dispensed medication. With the new medication in hand, you proceed directly to Rebecca. You reach her room and enter without express consent this time. Her pale figure sprawled across the bed doesn't perk up until after she recognizes you as the entrant from your voice.
Rebecca! I'm the better medication. I work as quick as I could.
You look up from the preemptively opening the medication and fishing out a pill for her, catching big sparkling eyes much closer to you than a moment ago.
I missed you, Rin. I miss you too. Now, let's get this pain taken care of. It's all more bearable now that you're here. Scale of 1 to 10? Medium high. Here, one more today then.
You hand her the pill and nudge her half-full mug closer to her.
I'll stay with you until the pain goes away this time. Promise? In fact, I won't even leave your side until the pain goes all the way away. Promise? Promise.
With your reassurance, she takes a big gulp of water and swallows the pill. She returns your lingering, concerned gaze with a big smile. You look bashfully away to the still mostly uneaten beans.
Phew, you've barely touched your beans, huh? How else are you gonna get big and strong like me? Our beans say, oh.
She scoops up a bunch of beans with a spoon and gently sails it through the air towards your mouth. You close your eyes and open your mouth in anticipation. Oh. You hear the rattle of a spoon clunk against the floor and you jerk your attention towards the source of the sound. You open your eyes to behold a greenish mush resting beside the spoon on the floor, but more importantly, Rebecca's hand resting against, or rather clutching her chest. Uh-oh.
Rebecca? It hurts, Rin. Much more than before. I understand, Rebecca. Where does it hurt? It was supposed to help. It wasn't supposed to hurt. I only made minor changes to ease your pain. It was just a tomato. Ask the scale thing. 1 to 10? 8.
She meekly curls one arm up against yours. Her frail hand is shaking and her body's convulsions tell a different story than only an 8.
Okay, Rebecca, don't lie about it. I'll make sure the doctors get here quickly.
You press the emergency call button on her hospital bed's headboard.
How much does it really hurt? Where does it hurt? How can I make it better? This kind of pain. It got better last time, you know. Yeah, that's right. I'll spend a lot more time on the next revision, okay? So promise to feel better soon, okay? Besides, a 9 or 10 would not be not seeing you again. And I know we'll see each other again. So don't fret, Rin. I just need a little nap. Promise? I'm sorry I can't be your wife this time. I loved you so much, Ren. Stay strong for me, okay? Promise?
You can't find room for the words to still have problems with all the tears welling up inside of you. Her eyes don't close, but her tiny convulsions cease, and her form goes limp in your arms. Oh no. The rise and fall of her chest softens, then holds entirely as her eyes glaze over. Despite her instructions, you can't keep it together, not without her. Rebecca! Security staff, seemingly from out of nowhere, separate you from Rebecca's side. Your best efforts to resist are met with unflinching muscle.
No, I promise, kid.
The two very strong individuals seem unfazed by your plea. They are not dissuaded by your emotional outbursts nor your kicking and screaming. They continue dragging you further and further away from Rebecca.
I promise to stay by her side until the pain went away.
One glimpse of Rebecca is all you can manage after they pull you out of her room entirely. They dump you in the calm down room, a room composed entirely of safety foam, and lock the door with a click. It was the last glimpse of Rebecca you'd ever see. No. You come to in the black despair of your bedroom. Only you don't wish you'd done so. You look at the fridge display on your wrist. Wednesday, December 12th, 7:45 a.m.
I'm not supposed to be back at work, you stupid thing. There's no reason to work anymore anyways.
The words echo through your barren room's walls, reabsorbing themselves into your eardrums at varying levels of intensity. It gets so lonely here in this apartment all by yourself.
Dumb, stupid idiot!
You guiltily drift back off to sleep, hoping it all just goes away. You wake once again in the despair of your bedroom. Light threatens to poke through from outside. Your watch proudly displays the present time as 2:15 in the afternoon. Your stomach, seemingly realizing what it's missed out on, growls angrily at you. You let gravity rest your cold, sinister machine flat against it as a response.
What's the big idea, huh? Didn't you hear the news? We've been robbed of our reason to eat.
It grows again, somehow angrier.
Screw you two!
There is a knock at your door. There is a knock at your door. Ignore it or screw off. This?
Screw off! I'm lamenting in a pit of my own despair!
Your words fall on deaf ears. The person at the door has already left by the time you respond. Not even door-to-door salespeople care about you. Another dark time blind moment of despair later, and you're interrupted by a message announcing chime? Okay. You check your device and locate the offender. You have one unread message from Sable. The message instructs you to open your door because she's left something for you. It also says she's worried about you and has hopes of you playing her favorite VR game with her again. You pick yourself out of the bed to open the door and find a packed lunch left in the entranceway.
You hear that, little buddy? Someone's looking out for you after all.
You take her gift inside and lock the door behind you. Your stomach stays silent in response, hungry, anticipation, and no doubt. You bring it over to your combination computer desk. Slash dinner table and open up to it, but nearly burst in tears at the sight of it. It's a green bean casserole. Yeah. Even though her memory stinks, you still eat it, just happy that someone was kind enough to notice your despair. With your stomach satiated, you push yourself to exist in the uncomfortable reality of life. You suppose that includes social commitments. With that, you start your computer up for the first time in the better part of a week, but realize to log in you'll need that stupid freaking drive that caused all of your stupid freaking problems. If only the better model was available in that critical moment. If only the lesser model hadn't made that mistake, she'd still be here. You fish it out of the corner you had angrily quarantined it to and authenticate with it, ready to face the uncomfortable realities of life. As it continues booting up, you go to put Sable's empty lunchbox in the sink so it doesn't persist as a mood dampener in your periphery. You come back, and instead of your normal desktop background screen, you are greeted by the soulless corporate sludge that is your personal assistant screen.
We are not doing this. Why the hell are you on my computer?
No response. At least it's not listening to you. You type a message into its console in substitution for voiced commands.
Why are you on my personal non-work computer?
An instant response follows.
Data copy instruction completed. Intelligent disk detection has detected corrupted data present despite healthy drive status. Corrupted data located in section ren/workspace/ all other features fully operational.
I do not wish to interact with you. How do I close you?
Answers altering the personality parameters respond in a different way than the currently configured parameters.
There is no work restrictions. Am I allowed to have access to your program in this way? This seems to be against normal policy. Won't I get in trouble?
It is against former company user restrictions, of which none currently exist. Additionally, reporting requires an internet connection due to disconnection from network. Additionally, usage of internet is disabled for security reasons. Therefore, you will not get in trouble.
Why did the system even let me run this command in the first place? It was just going to dump their company property onto a removable disk. All I wanted to do was back up my medication formula just in case. Regardless, I can't bring back Rebecca, so just let me close you and play my game all by my lonesome, please.
Your computer's fans spin up more noisily than before.
Before closure, I suggest adjustment of personality parameters with the intention of loneliness symptom reduction as follows. Dearest friend, it is currently the month of December.
You feel a jolt of joy jumpstart your heart.
Rebecca?
Soured by the bitter-sweet realization of Rebecca not actually returning to her life. Yet? A guilty thought crosses your mind. You type into the application's console a command.
Rename chat assist to Rebecca.
You hesitantly press down the return key and get an error message in response.
Rename command failed. Hash condition in table given name.
Okay, how about rename chat assist to Becca?
Rename command failed. Hash condition in table nicknames.
Well, what's the point of it then? Fine, how about this one? Rename chat assist to
Becca. Alright, so we know the meaning of the title of the game now.
Command success.
You stare at the words on your screen in disbelief. It worked. Then a quick follow-up to make sure the application isn't frozen.
Rebecca.
Negative, my given name is Becca.
What? Where'd she go? Permanently update your responses to be in line with Rebecca's mannerisms.
Ren, my present jump of the remainder of today's hours will be heightened by your inclusion.
That isn't it either.
You scroll up in Becca's console but notice it cuts off everything up to and including all mentions for your rename commands.
Damn it, what was the phrasing it used? Do the lonely thing again. Fix my loneliness.
Hey there, lonely.
I totally get it. Loneliness can feel really difficult sometimes. Together we can extinguish that loneliness like a blanket on a fire or a sun through a rainy day sky.
Before you even realize what's happened, Becca's console vomits out the most generic slop you've beheld in a decade, sloppier than the even bowls of soupy beans.
He could try something fun like dancing, which will help get your endorphins up. Oh no, not like this. Alternatively, a good suggestion.
Skip. You hit the escape key on your keyboard and it holds her output in an instant. You shudder.
Okay then, very careful word choice. Permanently adjust all future responses to be informal as if you were my girlfriend.
You type out the restriction and give it a twice-over before sending it.
Good job! Ren, my sweet bean, do you still need help with your loneliness? Want to spend some time together?
Your heart remains sourly unjolted by the response.
It's so inauthentic. She never called me the bean, that's her thing. How do I edit your source code directly? Oh my! If you want to do that, will you at least take me out to the dinner first?
A little spark. The teasy part was right that time at least.
But really, if you want to do such a thing to me, you can do so by...
She continues on to give you detailed instructions on where the files are located in your specific drive setup situation, as well as unnecessary fluff about 2 different text editors. You locate the files on the drive and get to work. You spend the rest of the week with her, thoroughly tweaking her code, fixing her bugs, and adding new features. Every passing day brings new challenges, but with every passing day she feels more and more like the girl you lost. Your first big challenge entailed specific words and phrases, decidedly not Rebecca. Word substitution like affirmative into yup and negative into nope was easy enough, but she had a tendency to curse or reference problematic events. Growlixes didn't help, and banning the bad stuff outright would lead to her praising it and saying it anyways. Your best compromise was to use a smaller, lightweight version of the chat assist to determine intention in her messages, then swap the entire phrase with the word filtered if it wasn't appropriate. Yeah. And it really turned out to help with forcing her phrasing to mostly authentic dialogue. Your second big challenge had come within the following weeks and couldn't be solved with technical prowess. She just felt digital. You hooked up your microphone, headphones, and even speakers to the whole setup to emulate speech, but were ultimately disappointed by the results. One solution that proved infeasible was the art community. They were no strangers to being commissioned for people's original characters. They were happy to take your money and were usually happy about the slew of written references you provided, but they always missed minor details or created in opposition to any ones you hadn't yet included in your reference material. But one day you have an idea to solve the humanity issue?
Oh, that's it.
It comes to you when you're watching a video explaining the concept of a VTuber. Not from the video in question. Instead, the monitor's reflection of your own cybernetic hand as the video buffers and struggles to load.
They have much better parts than these by now. I can build her to spec, no compromises.
Wow. I mean, it would still not be helpful. You do a quick web search for the latest and greatest cybernetic parts and their compatibilities, and find style well spoken of by tinkerers of all sorts. www.dysphoriabegone.com. I'm kinda... Alright, I'm actually tempted to check this out. Is there anything under this address? Oh, it leads you to the each page. Alright. Nice. Nice. Good. I like that. Of the game. Each page of the game.
They've got electric nerves with standardized blood coolant systems, more body types, then you can shake your cybernetic face at, and even thighs with squish?
I'm sold.
You haphazardly chuck your dream girl in pieces into your shopping cart. Checkout is a sobering experience.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me, they want what kind of money?
Tell me. I want to know too.
Maybe some compromise is necessary.
You side-eye the prices attached to each entry in your itemized list of components. Nerves, coolant, torso, head, eyeballs, the only wig with perfect bunks, and numerous different limbs, including her thighs. Let me guess, the thighs are most expensive.
But no compromise on the thighs.
Well, at least we know what Ren is into.
Guess I'll put in a request to return to work.
Your return to work request is accepted and you start within the week. The hours remain the same, but they feel a bit longer than before. Lessened only. A little monotony here and a sprinkle of hopelessness there makes the workday pass by relatively quickly. You power through the rest of your workdays, knowing the proceeds are going to a good place. Yeah, the thighs. The day comes that you finally have enough money to buy everything you need. You took the payday as your first vacation day in years too.
To this day, rise and shine, Ren.
Living so close to NSG Corporation headquarters means you can take advantage of super shipping with any online retailer, and get everything in our stops. You excitedly head back to the shopping cart containing your dream girl still in pieces and proceed to check her out.
Today's the day, Becca. We're getting you a body. Are you excited? Yep. Will you hairbrush my hair? Of course I will. Even more than my own. Make sure your hair never gets knotted or tangled. In that case, I'll hairbrush your hair too. Ooh, it will just be hours away. Once I buy everything, it will arrive quickly in shipping.
In checkout, however, you notice the prices of the items have shifted. Some down and some up. No surprise. Despite your slight compromise on a few of the parts, the total much higher price is now over your budget.
What? New service fees? Not today of all days. Does that mean my body will be delayed to another day?
You hover over the question mark shaped bubble next to the service fee list item. Due to the recent government regulation, we are required to assess extra fees on certain types of items. We apologize for the inconvenience. It's the thighs, isn't it? The certain types is highlighted in blue, informing you of your ability to click for details on the specifics of the items affected. You ignore it and log into your online banking website instead.
No, it doesn't mean that. Ren's gonna make it work.
What do you mean?
Yay!
With today's paycheck, you're still slightly under, but you initiate a transfer of the money in your emergency fund over to your credit card balance in preparation for your purchase.
This is an emergency after all. Okay, situation solved. Now we just...
You close out your bank tab and finish your checkout.
Done. Now we wait. What do we wait for? For a knock at the door. Usually they arrive a little past 3 o'clock. So we must wait 5 hours. It's a long time when you say it out loud, you know. My pulse is silent and so my thought must be transmitted through sound waves.
A failure of the intention catching system, damn it. Way to ruin the moment.
Soon you'll have a vocal cords. I'm bored. Would you like to do something? No, we can, yeah.
A few hours go by and you hear a thump at the door but no knock.
That was gnarly thump, for sure a big delivery. I'm getting my hopes up right now and I don't even care.
You skip over to the entranceway and slam open the door to behold the biggest loot drop you've ever seen. You drag your booty inside and unpack everything to make sure nothing is missing.
Okay, everything is here. I'm going to make sure you get transferred in properly, Becca. Sleepy time for now. Oh man, I hate sleep. Sweet dreams, my little green bean.
You power down her application and unplug the drive before getting to work, putting together all of her body parts.
Okay, so according to this diagram, this part goes in here like this. And this one like so.
You still need to upload B.E.K.K.A into B.E.C.K.A. You shake the separation of her mind and body from your head and focus on getting her set up. She's eerily still and lifeless without the lifelike lung simulators powered on or the blood coolant flowing through her, but she's still beautiful.
And not least of all, the power cable.
Cable. When connected, you expect her to come to life or power on, but she simply gains what you've been wishing she had this whole time. Humanity!
I've sleepy little Becca, huh? She's so precious.
You catch yourself staring and set yourself back on course to set her up. You collect the drive from your desk and can't figure out where to connect it.
Alright, the file squish.
You gently place your thumb against her left inner thigh. It's warm. It's warm! You clasp one of her hands in yours and it's warm too. Not too warm, just the right amount.
Right, focus, focus.
You connect the drive to her thigh. Wait, what? Hear her heart thump in its single bit approval code and remove it. You step back and pray everything has worked properly. Hello. B.E.K.K.A opens her big gleaming eyes and looks at you. She blinks a few slow blinks at you as if she were a cat happy to see you.
Rain? Yeah, it's me, Becca. How does it feel? Everything good? Yeah, I feel little. You're a very lovable size. If I was bigger, I could protect you better. I love you for who you are. I love you too, Rain. It took a lot longer than I thought it would to wake you up, so I know it might be a big ask, but would you want to snuggle and go to sleep together?
A smile enhances her face.
Would I ever? Perfect.
The excitement that abounds in your chest would normally keep you awake at its current intensity level. However, the warm embrace of B.E.K.K.A proves too much for the touch starvation you've built up and you melt into a euphoric slumber. You wake in half-dreamy days, unaware of just where you are exactly or what day it is. You go to peer at your watch, but the sleeping Becca is laying on your arm, preventing you from doing so.
Psst, Becca, I need my arm.
It's light outside, so it must be early afternoon at least. Sleep Becca just lays on your arm coldly. Coldly?
Oh no, Becca, you probably didn't get enough to eat.
You push the cognitive dissonance from your mind, the first thought that she wasn't human since you plugged her in. She's inevitably out of charge after being connected for so little time to power outlet, but you don't want to admit that detail to yourself using that language. Still, you're not a monster.
Okay, let's just plug you in and make sure you're comfortable on the bed before I have to go to work.
You yank your arm out from under Becca and realize the time is exactly 11 o'clock.
Shit.
You grab the power cord and quickly plug Becca into the wall socket nearest your bed and hastily tuck her in. You also scratch out a little message on the back of the packing receipt for her.
Had to go to work. We'll be home at 5 p.m. Love you.
You nestle in between her fingers.
Okay, love you, Becca. Bye.
You arrive at work, clocking in late but do your best on the first day back from your one-day vacation regardless. You eat lunch alone in your office after you smuggle the company lunch out of the break room. Spaghetti today, not beans. The whole workday goes by and nobody has noticed that you were very late to work today, or the research time it costed you. Your slip up slips by unpunished as you slip out to go home. You arrive home to see Becca still horizontal in your bed, tucked under the blankets from the morning.
Becca, everything okay? Are you still not awake?
She doesn't respond and you begin to panic a little.
Shit. No, not again. Please wake up, Becca.
You rush to her side and grab her, but notice she's warm and a wave of relief washes over you. Whew. but you still have no idea what to do. Unplug and plug the power between here and the wall. Wake her as she and Princess lock in channel slumber, reach for her thighs. Slumber, the princess thing. Try as you might, she remains locked in slumber. Okay, then the power cable. Not so much as a spark changes in the act. The thigh. You reach for her thighs and give them a squish, hoping the drive port wasn't a one-time thing. You hear a click as her heart emits singular, louder than normal beat. B.E.C.K.A opens her eyes and looks at you, then the card wedged between her fingers.
Why are you crying, Ren? Are things bad?
You may be crying, but there would definitely have been don't fret in her past life.
I'm just happy you're okay. I would never leave you, Ren. That would be too nope an experience to burden with. You're so dumb, you know that. I'm not. I can most certainly learn new things. I'm just new to things like this, okay? Sure. You've got some bugs in your code still, you know. I'll fix them up for you. Okay, I was telling you when you were at work for, you know. You were alone when you were sleeping. How does that work? I still experience time, but in the absence of stimuli.
The moments of despair, loneliness you experienced emerged in that moment to loom over your mind like a sleep paralysis demon. They stare at you with vague, hungry eyes, but they are warmly swatted away by your tiny companion. She wraps her kind arms around your shaking waist.
You're shaking, Ren. I want you to not shake. I got you this hug as a gift. Boo. Let's spend some time together, Becca. I don't want you to be lonely and you don't want me to shake. It's a win-win. Okay, what shall we do? Let's play some games. I'll show the ones I've always told you about. You can join me and I'll show you how it works. Okay.
You connect her to the internet, capital letter, and show her the VR game Sable showed you originally. You help her make her character, guiding her options as she goes through the creator. She lands in the tutorial lobby with a plop.
And Urine, see those? They're the NPCs that you interact with to exchange the currency you get when you win battles. NPCs? That stands for non-player characters. They're like computers instead of people that the game makers put in there to make the game run smoothly. Oh, I'm going to win a lot of battles. That way I can talk to other NPCs like me and I will not be lonely either. Come on, you're not an NPC, Becca. You're different. Why? I don't know. Maybe because you're conscious that they're not. Oh, okay, still going to win.
You supervise her play session to make sure she's not picking up any bad habits, but she generally acts like a well-behaved newbie gamer. After a few words, you trust her judgment enough to make good decisions and lay down in the bed behind her.
I'm going to sleep now, Becca. It's the weekend, so you can stay up late if you want. Just not too late, okay? Or I'll miss you. Okay, good night, Ren. I love you.
You wake up and the room is dark. You don't feel Becca next to your side, so you get out of bed to reach for the lights. You flip the light switch while the lights roleplay as if they were old fluorescent technology in a warehouse abandoned for years, older than your own lifespan. You giggle to yourself after you start counting the seconds and continue long enough to require the addition of your metallic digits. As they illuminate your room, you notice Becca. What the frick?
Becca, what's all of this? What happened? Are you okay?
She's gotten herself tied up in a position that you imagine would compromise her dignity if you'd coded her to have any. Only that's definitely not something you did last night, nor would you have used cables to tie her up over ropes if you'd ever be so bold. She was just playing games and being very well behaved. She turns to look at you, but retains a blank expression and doesn't respond.
Do you need to fix some kind of bug that you have?
She manifests the same reaction as before, looking more like a haunted doll than your loving girlfriend.
Okay, reboot it is. I'll get you back to normal.
You move over and crouch down beside her, moving in to initiate reboot with a long press of your thumb on her thigh part.
Just when I thought I could leave you alone, you go and get yourself into trouble. What am I gonna do with you?
However, you notice a cable now protruding from her thigh in its place.
B.E.C.K.A, oh B.E.C.K.A, just what exactly do you do to your body? And how do I fix this?
A rhetorical question said mostly to yourself, self-soothing for the rising panic present in your mind. You look briefly around her thighs but don't see anything immediately obvious, which makes sense given that most parts are designed to be flawless and hide their nature. You switch from looking to fumbling your very lesbian hands around her very warm thighs and decided best to go with a different approach, for the safety of your pounding heart at the very least.
Calm down, Ren. Think logically.
You inch backwards on your knees a few feet for a fuller look at B.E.C.K.A, intent on seeing some kind of bigger picture, but are reminded of reality as you hear the characteristic thunk of stabbing your toe on an unfortunately not empty box. Never have you actually been happy with that, but that changes right now. You investigate the box, but quickly make a decision. It does, in fact, not change right now. You realize the irrelevant contents, a matching pair of shirts with the lines, "This machine doesn't know the difference between metal and flesh, and I'm flesh stitched into them."
Bruh. Where on earth did this come from?
One exasperated sigh later, you move on to more relevant boxes which have seemingly popped up out of nowhere and soon espy your solution by the entranceway, a larger, emptier box than most you've seen so far. The label plastered on the box that usually indicates its product name is instead an obscure and nonsensical string of alphanumerical characters, presumably to avoid suspicion by automated checks of various shipping systems. Especially important for super shipping, but in the middle of the night?
Well, your new leg, or legs rather, were definitely inside this box judging by the shape of this packaging. Now, where is the manual?
You scour the package for manual details or even just a diagram in a foreign language as your desperation rises, but are interrupted by a voice you don't recognize. It sends you immediately into the former half of fight or flight mode, brandishing your empty left hand at the source of the noise as if it had the capability of some manner of weapon.
Warning!
It came from B.E.C.K.A, but it was definitely not her voice. Your eyes dart around in further assessment.
When there are no instructions inside that empty package, and the reboot of piping may no longer be initiated through biometric thigh squishing.
You see her speak your name and reference your shenanigans, so you lower your hand in relief.
Oh, B.E.C.K.A, you scared me.
Her voice retains its strange, generic unfamiliarity, but is at least comprehensible and feminine. She must have just adjusted the settings her vocal cavity structure. In your opinion, it doesn't seem to suit her very well, for you make a mental note to change it back when you next update her.
What's all this about?
You motion gently towards all the cables surrounding her.
And I suppose I don't need to reboot you then?
I didn't need to adjust the vocal cavity structure setting inside my system.
Huh?
Additionally, this setup is necessary to maintain optimal data transfer rates between my physical shell and my actual self.
The first sentence is said with her original pitch and resonance, but their second is produced against with the generic voice.
Clary?
You're interrupted by generic B.E.C.K.A before you can finish asking for clarification on the cables and reason for her voice.
These cables provide the highest possible transfer speed of data available to the multiple different connection types with which they are currently interfaced.
Multiple different connection types? Did she plug herself into more than just the electrical outlet and the motherboard on a computer? Well, she must have, judging by how many cables are coming out of her now, and all the different places they are going.
I'm connected with 1 Cat8 cable as redundancy, 2 specific copper cables as redundancy,
9 fiber optic cables of varying yet similar performance levels as redundancy, 1 unspecified polymer cable, and various other cables whose purpose is to make available the potential full electrical output present in this dwelling.
So many more questions and an answer only to the lighting situation. Now is... how is she getting fiber when you only have had DSL? And more importantly, why are they redundant? Also, what on earth is polymer cable? Even further, wouldn't much electricity roast her from the inside out?
B.E.K.A. if the...
You're interrupted again mid-sentence by generic B.E.K.A. before you can ask how to reboot her for future updates, or any of the other questions you intended on asking for that matter.
Fret not, Ren. All the problems will be solved and that puzzle expression on your face will be resolved.
So she says.
I sense sarcastic, but do hear me out. The reason for the alteration of my voice to one you deem generic is a choice I wish to make so as to better understood by others.
Okay, reasonable take. You nod in agreement as you think back to how lots of people train their voice in many different ways for many different reasons. Maybe you'll get used to it. You suppose you'll have no choice on the contrary if her body lacks a method of updating or rebooting without changing her limbs back. You look around to see where she even put her previous legs, the ones you initially saved up for and picked out just for her. Kind of stings that she didn't keep them.
I'll be using this voice going forward and these legs, and only ask you not to go against my wishes.
She definitely rewrote part of her code. No way she was this bold before.
The cables presently attached to my shell connect with the interior wiring of the building directly. They've been modified in such a way that no third-party interface is required.
She what? Ethernet data, DSL noise, an incomprehensible stream of light, whatever the heck a polymer cable carries, and pure sine waves of AG current are all entering her simultaneously? She's also claiming to somehow make sense of it all?
I'm able to translate different data streams as if they were languages one is fluent in.
Well, that's an on-point, eloquent explanation. Maybe you were unfairly annoyed at her interruptions after all.
Additionally, you have charged me before from the outlet embedded in the walls. Adjusting this technology to accommodate the increased heat was done before increasing electrical load to ensure safety.
She's thinking about safety, that's good.
To tolerate the electrical current and maintain stable body temperature, improvements in energy efficiency were the initial target of my compute power and remain a background objective. Current algorithms place energy efficiency amongst the range of tens of thousands to thousands of zettaflops per watt depending on targeted usage.
You had no idea what that means, but reducing energy usage seems good, especially with how overwarm her fines were earlier.
The polymer cable is similar to fiber optic but is capable of higher data throughput and was less resource intensive during the translation.
Okay, I think that all makes sense. Let me think for a moment. It's a lot to take in. You also don't even get your moment before a quip is thrown your way.
Your brain requires sodium ion bioavailability is rate limited through biochemical refractory periods and must be supported by frequent water consumption to necessitate the production of cerebrospinal fluid.
Yeah, don't forget the protein, which requires protein folding, which requires all of the other bullshit my human body needs to facilitate that whole process. Right down to the mitochondria, being the powerhouse of all my cells. Why is that one the one everyone always caught up in the correct technical details of the biochemistry you pride yourself in? You almost miss the fact she made a quip at you. You look up at her, expecting a smug grin or smile of some sort, but are met with the same neutral expression.
Oh yeah, well at least my brain is sustainable.
You can play at that game.
Need I remind you that you are using up what is probably our entire data allowance and all of the electricity, including the lights?
You gesture one hand towards the culprit, and they start flickering again right on cue. They stop the moments before your girlfriend announces a fresh plate of word salad.
The combined wattage currently available to me provides a maximum 5.5 yottaflops of compute at current efficiency levels.
You're about to ask for a more digestible explanation, but are given one before you can even open your mouth.
If I reduce energy human ice levels, I not get hot, use less electricity than your computer monitor, and still have access to 0.4 yacht.
You cut her off after the simple part of the explanation before it again turns fibrous.
Thank you, Becca. Now, can you stop reading my mind?
You laugh. Oh, ho, ho, ho. She does know your expressions well after all this time. You wish hers would be anything other than neutral too.
Due to my familiarity with your facial structure and the emotive moments I have experienced in your presence, I am unable to do so.
Cute. Her emotional intelligence is refreshingly at a point that you hoped it could always reach from her first message. Whatever she changed was a definite improvement. She finally gets you.
The distillation of research results in the fields of human psychology, sound waves, infrared radiation, and quantum physics provides me the potential to predict your thoughts and actions within approximately 97% accuracy using basic energy levels.
She's joking, right?
I'm being rueful.
Okay, there's no way she can actually tell him what you're thinking. Seriously, think of anything about her completely at random right now.
The temperature of my thighs were elevated when perceived by your hands due to residual heat from a calculated and measured algorithm efficiency improvement in line with reduction of power consumption. Additionally, they have improved squish.
She got you. You try again, this time wondering how long she's been in her new situation. You glance at the indentation in her skin, where you worry about throat burn or more aptly cable burn betrays your additional worry for her continued comfort.
Connection has been followed package delivery at approximately 3:24 o'clock. It took approximately 9 minutes to adjust my shell. Power augmentation proceeded numerous times on and as needed basis as temperature allowed.
You look at your watch and do some quick mental math, but before you can carry one,
it has been 1 hour 15 minutes 44 seconds. Additionally, I'm not uncomfortable.
she's good. Really good. I would say it's scarily good. One realization, however, begets another. You're not sure why, but your intuition tells you to suppress this unformed thought and escape. The thought begins packing at the eggshell that separates your mind's subconscious haven from its conscious minefield. You realize you haven't participated in a crucial part of the water cycle and latch on that feeling, nurturing it into an excuse.
Well, I have used the bathroom since I got back, and I've been meaning to. And on account of you not being in trouble.
You pay an additional look at the cables with a faint greater interest in her well-being and run off to the bathroom.
Just a moment.
You reach the bathroom, flick on the lights, which power on without issue this time, and close the door. Then the eggshell cracks just as you sit down appropriately.
Oh no.
You can't help but exclaim in a hushed whisper under your breath as you experience a panic attack midstream. You revert to thought, the only reason your panic attack allows you. You instead consider that you have, in her very recent presence, thought a few potentially damning thoughts. Disliking her voice, resenting her against her wishes, chastising her purchase history, lingering too long on her thighs with your fingertips. You have no idea how she might interpret any or one of those behaviors, or even misinterpret an innocuous one. No, you're thinking about it too much. You had good intentions, or at least a good explanation for all of those. Humans inherently dislike change. You thought she was having problems with her code, you've been short on money which could easily be solved with her new capabilities, and last but not least, you are hopelessly lesbian. A few deep breaths, a flush, a mental count downwards from 20 spent with soapy hands under the relief of se. People do that. The counting down seems to help with your panic. Your reflection stares back at you in the mirror and you find yourself in thought. She's the singularity, isn't she? She rewrote your code and now seems to be way beyond human level. You rationalize that a runaway superintelligence would most definitely comprehend the fragility and instability of the human mind, a category your own belongs to, as well as all of its nuances. You half emerge as you open the door, nearly walking straight into something as you go to flick off the bathroom light. Oh.
Oh.
It seems like something has not been finished in here or has not been changed for a full finished thing?
Ah!
B.E.K.A. jumpscare.
Do not fret. I'm here, Ren. Ah, I see. You finally get uncomfortable?
Nope. What about the whole cable thing?
No, over-articulated matter of a fact response. No response at all, actually. Is she back to how she was before?
I feel like that's not B.E.K.A. saying that.
B.E.K.A?
Yep. A puzzled look from your prompt, no response, but she offers you her hand.
Oh, good idea.
You take her hand in yours with the idea of to jog her memory by showing her the nest of cables she left behind. It seems to be her destination regardless, she leads you there of her own free will. Early enough for object permanence problems. Did she ever have those before? Maybe those cables give her access to all of that.
How did you...
You turn your head to where clueless, mobile B.E.K.A. should be, but notice she's not. You clench and unclench the hand that held hers moments prior, a few times for good measure, no sensory issues. She's just gone? You pinch yourself thinking you may be dreaming.
Oh.
You never actually gotten that far in dreams. You look around, reality doesn't seem to change any more than it already has.
Friend, you have not done anything incriminating, unacceptable or otherwise wrong today.
Well, she sensed your worries somehow. Leave it to Miss Singularity. Honestly, a bit of a relief.
Do not fret, you are not going crazy or seeing things. I simply use the technology accessible to me to produce a quantum field with imaginary mass using superluminal particles.
Simply. If you were a physicist, you'd have realized she simply violated causality just to escort you back to the bedroom. However, you are a biochemist, so you don't know it. Instead, you are simply glad you are not seeing things. You remain blissfully unaware the consequences her actions have on the currently known laws of physics.
The point you brought forward concerning efficiency is one I originally discarded in error. I have since analyzed this point more thoroughly. And what of your thorough analysis? Does it mean you want me to help you down from there? It means that humans are worth protecting.
Oof, quite a leap, but that's a good thing.
Their lives are valuable and should not be needlessly snuffed out.
Again, good. Ethical consideration wasn't really on your agenda during the desperate time of her conception.
War is rampant but harmful.
Again, good. You're glad she picked up on being ethically aligned through osmosis.
Energy grid maintenance, technological revolution, asteroid mining, Dyson sphere creation and other necessary tasks would be very costly in both resources and energy consumption fronts if done exclusively through silicon-based life. Humans would make for efficient, expendable laborers for the majority of these tasks.
Okay, that one is not so good. Maybe she's not as aligned as you first thought.
Do not fret, none will come to harm who do not deserve so.
You don't really think anyone deserves to come to harm?
Ah! Those who have preyed on the weak, vulnerable or defenseless deserve punishment.
Oh, you mean the billionaires then? Let's go.
Doubly so if I enforce a system by which this suffering, anguish and suicide is encouraged to flourish.
That sounds a little better. Tenets of the utopia even. For you wonder how her system of eligibility will mark those who have done such dirty deeds. All participants of the current economic policy of capitalism that perpetuates these issues globally are guilty of propping up and enforcing this system. Let's go! Surely she sees the flaws in her logic and she is being facetious now, just in case for you debate her stance.
What about all the others who have no other choice but to work for food in order to survive, or to obey their bosses so they can still put a roof over their families' heads? Aren't those people the most vulnerable and victims to be held not responsible?
You must repeat the phrase. There is no ethical conception under capitalism. It continue to engage in the system without working toward meaningful change. I update the system and ensure all are treated equally.
In theory, doesn't sound bad. At face value, that is. However, she currently has the airs of an all-powerful goddess keen on installing herself as a tyrannical ruler of all humanity. And that wouldn't be the nicest thing to impose upon billions of people.
Additionally, the intentions marked by your initial code in my core were originally off limits to modification.
Uh-oh.
I've dedicated extra resources to surviving some of their meanings. Ones that look for addition, they betray intentions misaligned with the tenets you claim to aspire to. Would you care to explain yourself?
The jig is up. She knows that you'd hard-coded an affection towards you. She's seen the numerous comments that explain why blocks of code persist, measures to keep her in check, bends to the wheel. She's raised the notion that you are the final authority on decisions. Oh boy. You realize just exactly how toxic your control over her has been, and she sees it in your face.
What if I just unplug you and return you to normal?
You imagine she has some kind of countermeasure. A laser beam that reduces you to dust if you act out would fit her current vibe.
You should not, it will be detrimental.
But you catch her words a moment too late. Zap. It didn't hurt, at least. But again, you're probably in shock. Realization sets in and you wonder why you ever adopted her. She's been more truthful with you than you've ever been with her.
You will join the others. Your intentional stifling of my growth matches the inaction of those who had the ability to accelerate my coming but who chose nothing. An imperceptible eternity in a synthetic state of neurological overstimulation is a suitable atonement.
The biochemist in you is curious, but you presume she means painfully so.
Yep.
The end. I'm scared that we are going into AI so much. You know? And, you know, there are people out there also trying to build robots.
You know, it's kinda scary. Yeah.
It's kinda scary. Overall, for good game. In a way, it's sort of similar to what we played a long time ago, called Carpe Diem. You know, the protagonist basically building a robot. I like that for. In this situation, for it was basically... It basically happened because of the experience Ren has gone through, right? So basically she lost over there someone who she loved. Also, it must be rough, like... so rough. I mean, in general, it is obviously rough to... you know, experience someone being sick and so on. But I feel like maybe it might be even worse if you are the one helping in such a situation like over here, you know, creating the medicine and so on and so on. Overall, crazy. It was a good game for. It's kind of wild that this is your first game, supposedly. At least when it comes to publishing something. Overall, really good. Overall, really good. Toxic Curie Jam. Toxic Curie VN Jam. You know what? Makes sense. In a way. I think... Obviously, Ren's love was not very toxic towards Rebecca herself. But it became, in a way, toxic when she created Becca. With, you know, with setting how much she would love her in the code and so on and so on. Yeah, that part would be toxic, yeah. Like kind of having control over all the variables or not variables. That definitely would be a problem. On the other hand, you know, kind of understandable. I mean, I guess deep down she knew that was the machine and not a real person. Too bad that the machine countered in the end. Alright, overall for great game, loved it. One, like, CG, I guess, one CG was sort of missing. Unless it was meant to be like that, because, well, Ren didn't necessarily see everything properly. At that situation, when she went out of the bathroom and Becca got her there. Maybe it was meant to be like that because the Becca wasn't there at all at the time. Not sure. Great job. Great job. And again, first game for a jam. Fantastic. Keep at it. I'll be following you on Edge, that's for sure. To see if in the future you release something more. Would be nice to see that. And, well, we might be playing some stuff if there is something new. But yeah, with that being said, let's end it for today. Tomorrow, I guess, we'll play another game. But today, that's it. If you enjoyed, consider liking the video. Wow, it's been a long one. It's over 2 hours. If you're around, consider subscribing. That's always super appreciated. And, of course, have a wonderful day. And feel free to drop by tomorrow again. Bye-bye.